Obstacles are rarely just outside events. They are often patterns that were never seen clearly. Many questions about why life doesn't move hide the same core doubt. Is there something wrong here at the root? It can feel as if some invisible wall blocks every attempt to grow, to love better, to prosper, to change. From the outside, it may look like bad luck. Inside, there is usually a more precise story. Tests that were not recognized as tests, temptations that quietly diverted attention, shame that froze movement, and voices that replaced inner truth. Nothing is wrong with facing mountains. What breaks a life is forgetting that mountains exist to be climbed. Temptation is one of the most misunderstood forces behind stagnation. It does not have to be a dramatic scenario. In this context, temptation is anything that pulls attention away from what truly matters, right at the moment when a deeper choice is available. A goal is set, a path is sensed, a decision is made. Now things will be different. Soon after, something appears that feels more comfortable, more exciting, or less demanding. It might be a person, a habit, a shortcut, a distraction. Temptation whispers, "Take this. It is easier. No one will see. The long path can wait." The test is simple and deep at the same time. Remain on the path that was chosen from clarity, or follow the instant relief that slowly erodes self-respect. This pull often arrives disguised as something good, deserved rest that lasts for months, just a little fun that destroys trust, just this once that becomes a secret loop. On the surface, each decision seems harmless. Over time, a pattern appears. Energy is poured again and again into the easy detour, not into the hard, honest work. After a while, the question becomes, why is nothing changing? The answer is hidden in the small, repeated places where comfort was chosen instead of growth. The obstacles are not just out there. They live in these little moments. Another deep block is shame. Regret can be healthy. It says, that action did not match deeper values. Something needs to change. Shame says something harsher. Because of what happened, there is no right to want anything better now. Past seasons may include choices that brought real harm, to self, to others, to opportunities. There may have been infidelity, dishonesty, self-betrayal, addictions, relationships treated carelessly, gifts thrown away. After that, shame can build a quiet belief. Someone like this does not deserve good things. This belief becomes one of the strongest invisible chains. The truth is that every life holds some kind of shadow. Greatness does not grow from a clean record. It grows from what is done after the fall. Some stay in hiding, blaming everyone else, repeating the same story. Others slowly face what happened, accept consequences, ask forgiveness where possible, and allow those very mistakes to become the reason to live more honestly. The past does not need to be glorified or minimized. It needs to be integrated. The obstacle is not what was done in itself. It is the decision to turn that into a permanent identity, the one who ruined everything, instead of the one who learned the hard way and chose differently. External voices can also hold back an entire life more than any hidden curse. Opinions and advice come easily from friends, family, partners, social media, culture. Some of these voices are loving and wise. Others are filled with fear, jealousy, unresolved resentment, or limited vision. Very often, at a critical moment, one of these voices becomes louder than inner knowing. A good partner is left because a bitter friend says, "You can do better," when the real issue is just a hard season that required patience. A promising project is abandoned because someone who gave up on their own dreams says, "That will never work." A needed boundary is not set because a relative says, "You are being selfish," when the truth is the opposite. The real test inside these moments is, which voice is trusted more than the quiet truth inside? The obstacle is not that other people speak. They always will. The obstacle is the habit of giving their fears and frustrations more authority than deeper intuition. It is possible to listen, consider, and still choose the path that does not yet make sense to others but feels clean within. This is one of the marks of a life that begins to move in its own direction. Fear of lack is another powerful block. When bills pile up, work feels unstable, and resources are scarce, the nervous system goes into survival mode. In that state, everything is filtered through the question, will there be enough? Dreams can shrink to the size of the next payment. In such seasons, there is a strong temptation to define worth by current conditions, current income, current address, current status. From there, shortcuts and compromises become seductive. A value is bent here, a line is crossed there, a toxic deal is accepted just for a while. Fear makes these choices look necessary. Scarcity is real. It hurts, but it is not the definition of a soul's value. For some, a period of lack becomes proof that life is unfair and always will be. For others, it becomes a strange training ground. Forced creativity, deeper gratitude, sharper discernment. The same external pressure can either break integrity or strengthen it. The difference lies in how the season is interpreted. This is punishment, leads to despair. This is training, does not romanticize hunger or struggle. It simply refuses to let them be meaningless. Another quiet obstacle is refusal to climb. Every meaningful change looks too big from the bottom. A new career, a healthier way of living, a different relational pattern, a creative project, each appears like a huge mountain. The mind lists reasons to stay where it is. Too old, too young, too late, too early, too tired, too complicated. Waiting to feel fully ready becomes a way of never starting. The fantasy is that one day confidence will arrive first, then action will follow. In reality, it often works the other way around. Confidence grows in response to action, not before it. Those who eventually reach their own version of greatness almost never started from certainty. They started from a simple decision. Not moving hurts more than moving. Then they took one step. They read one chapter. They sent one message. They learned one skill. They did an imperfect first version. One step does not solve everything, but it breaks the illusion that nothing can change. Over time, enough small steps become a path. Enough small paths become a new life. There is also a hidden loyalty to familiar pain. After many disappointments, a part of the psyche begins to believe that staying where it is, even if uncomfortable, is safer than trying again. Expectations are lowered on purpose to avoid the feeling of being let down. The language shifts. Instead of, what if life could be bigger? The question becomes, how can discomfort be managed? Dreams are quietly downgraded. Standards in work and relationships are quietly lowered. The word greatness starts to sound childish or arrogant. Yet somewhere underneath, a small voice still knows there was supposed to be more than this. This loyalty to pain is another form of temptation. It whispers, if nothing big is tried, nothing big can be lost. The cost is that nothing big can be lived either. Breaking this pattern is risky. It means being willing to hope again, to be seen trying again, to be misunderstood again. It means accepting that not every risk will turn into visible success. But it also means opening doors that have been locked for years, simply because fear said, better not. It is important to be clear. Not every harsh event in life is some mystical test that must be passed. Some things are simply wrong. Some losses are truly heartbreaking. Some traumas leave deep scars that cannot and should not be minimized. Real strength does not come from pretending that pain does not matter or declaring that everything was meant to be. Real strength often includes acknowledging that what happened was too much, seeking help, and allowing time and support to do their work. Greatness in such stories is not about looking perfect. It is about still choosing healing and meaning after being hurt. Once these internal obstacles are seen more clearly, the question becomes, what now? First, patterns can be named without self-attack. That might sound like, the path is abandoned whenever it stops feeling exciting. Or, trust is given to voices outside more than to the voice inside. Or, every time a test of patience appears, immediate escape is chosen over staying with the discomfort. Writing such patterns down can feel confronting, but it turns a vague, I'm stuck, into specific habits that can slowly be replaced. Second, current challenges can be approached with a different question. If this is training, what part of the being is it trying to grow? Maybe it is courage to speak truth. Maybe it is discernment in choosing partners and friends. Maybe it is humility to ask for help. Maybe it is consistency. Seeing a struggle through this lens does not make it pleasant, but it does make it purposeful. If reality is already heavy, letting that weight build inner muscle is wiser than letting it only cause collapse. Third, small acts can be used as quiet declarations of loyalty to the deeper path. That might look like saying no to a tempting offer that clearly violates values. or staying committed to a person or project even when the emotional high fades and the work begins, or kindly but firmly refusing the advice of someone who repeatedly steers toward drama and away from peace, or beginning a long-avoided task with the understanding that progress, not perfection, is the goal. These moments are often invisible from the outside. Inside, they rebuild trust in self. Finally, it helps to remember that greatness is not necessarily fame, wealth, or public recognition. For some, it is raising emotionally healthier children than the previous generation. For others, it is breaking a family pattern of addiction or abuse. For others, it is building a quiet life of integrity and service. Greatness in this sense is not about comparison with others. It is about becoming the clearest, most honest version of this particular life. The obstacles in front of that process are not unbeatable. They are invitations to grow. If something in this reflection touches a specific area that feels stuck, that feeling is important. It may be pointing straight at the main test of this season. For ongoing conversations about emotional healing, nervous system wisdom, and spiritual psychology of growth, subscribing keeps these messages close when old habits pull back. Liking this video helps this message reach others who feel blocked but cannot name why. Sharing it with someone facing a difficult decision may offer a mirror they needed. And if one obstacle stood out, a pattern, a fear, a voice, a temptation, writing it in the comments as the main mountain right now can be the first clear act of standing in front of it, not as a victim of it, but as a climber who has finally decided to move.